Broadcasting live worldwide. Welcome.
Are you ready? Welcome. Señoras y señores. Welcome.
A Diálogo con Luis Otero. So welcome to a new episode of Dialogo with Luis Otero. This is your host, Luis Otero. Thank you so much to all the thousands and thousands of people that listen to us worldwide. We want to say thank you so much to all of you. Please listen to us in all platforms of podcasts worldwide, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher.com, Apple Podcasts. Leave your, review and just leave your comments. I appreciate all the thousands and thousands of people that listen to us worldwide. So I just want to say thank you so much to all of you. Today is going to be a fucking amazing podcast. And I got to start like this because I typically don't start like this. And it's a truly special episode. And let me tell you the backstory about this. I have a very good friend of mine, CEO and creator of Thoughtcloud.net, Leo Peña. All of you have met him at some point and have listened to the episodes that I have done with Leo of Thoughtcloud and CBD and hemp and all that stuff. And he come up to me a couple of weeks ago and said, Luis, I need you to meet, this group of guys that they have created this NFT. And I was like, okay, interesting. I have heard from NFTs and they're involved in blockchain and all that stuff. But they said, this is really cool. You got to join Discord. And I was like, I'm not in Discord, but I joined Discord. And I find it fascinating what these guys are doing. It's fucking amazing. It's a community that they're building. People from all over the world, they're joining them. And I was like, I got to have these guys before they become famous and they don't want to come to the podcast because I don't have the millions of listeners that a lot of other podcasts they have. But they were super kind enough to come to Dialogo with Luis Otero and talk to me today about the amazing NFT project, Chillin Chameleons. Today with me is the amazing Darren Fryer, Killen Ness, Nelson Ortiz, who is the artist of the project, and the amazing Sam Alfaro. Welcome, guys, to Dialogo with Luis Otero. It's an awesome fucking pleasure to have you guys here today.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
I'm
excited to be here.
It's awesome. It's a pleasure to have you guys. And it's a really cool group of 4 guys. All of them, they're located differently in different locations. Darren, if I'm not mistaken, you're in Hawaii. Keelan, you are in Northern California, like Oregon area. You got Nelson Ortiz, who's the artist of the NFT, is based out of Los Angeles, and then you have Sam. Sam, you're based as well. You're in Oregon, or where you're at right now too?
California. So I'm also in LA, Orange County area. So
you guys are all like West Coast, and yeah. I mean, yeah, that's super cool. So how Chillin Chameleons, started? Because I am not that familiar with NFTs in regards of like how it works, technology, of behind the NFTs. But I know that blockchain is involved in some kind of way, really providing that cutting edge, like all of us here in the conversation, love. Crypto, blockchain, encryption, and I know that there's some things involved, but how Chillin Chameleons technically started, if any of one of you can explain to me how was the seed planted and how this came about, because I gotta tell you, I'm extremely excited and it's awesome to have, this project, come to life, 2021.
Kels is like the Nick Fury of the team, so I'm gonna let him chime in on that and let him explain that how it all came about.
All right, Luis, let me break it down for you. So, look, I am a social media influencer, right? So I had a couple buddies come to me and they launched a NFT project and they had a lot of success. Sold out in 30 minutes, killed it, 10,000 pieces, boom, like did amazing. So they came to me and they're like, Kels, we need you to do a project with us. And I was like, you know what? I keep seeing NFTs everywhere. Okay, let's do it. So we were trying to come up with the name and they're like, look, we need to find an artist. And Nell actually did a piece of art for me for my birthday. So I was like, all right, hold on one second. I'm going to call him, get him on the phone, and we'll do a 3-way call. And so I call him, get him on the phone. He tells me, he's like, bro, I just walked out of my job 2 days ago. I ain't got nothing going on. Let's do it. And he's like, okay. And then we were trying to come up with the name. And so the name was like, we all kind of smoke a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So we were chilling. And I was like, chilling like a chameleon. And then boom, Nell hangs up the phone, literally hangs up on us, and sends us a text message 20 minutes later with the outline of a chameleon. I said, perfect. We're good to go. But then I started doing a bunch of research on all these NFT projects, and they don't really, it's like people are just buying like a piece of art with, nothing behind it. So I was like, I just got done watching this documentary like a week or so before, Seaspiracy. And then one of my best friends, Darren Fryer down here, known him for 10 plus years. I was thinking about him. I was like, you know what? Let's give this some value. So I reached out to Darren. I was like, hey, let's put together, we're putting together a NFT. I want to give you a portion of the profits to help fund what he's doing, because what he's doing, he's out there doing God's work in Maui. We'll get into what he's doing here shortly.
I would love to know about what he's currently doing in the projects over there. Because
we gotta say that. We gotta keep the listeners here.
Oh,
man.
hell yeah. Don't give them that right now. Let's give them that later.
But yeah, sure. That's how it all really started, man. It was a simple phone call, and it's crazy how the universe works. Like I said, Nell just quit what he was doing 2 days before I called him, and then everything just kind of aligned. Like everything just has like come full circle. So that's really where Chillin Chameleons started. About how many weeks ago?
I think that
like
about a month.
Like a month. It was like 4 weeks. I remember like yesterday, like Leo just contacts me, but I'm like watching my timeline in Instagram. I'm in a meeting in one of the companies, in a company that I'm partner of and work with. And I'm like, this is interesting. I'm like, Leo just talked to me about this, and I see Buckby, famous, up and coming rapper, and that he's friends with the crew, and the guy just like posted the Chillin Chameleons, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm here. I just heard it just a minute ago, and look how sometimes it's interesting how synchronization and sometimes spreading the message at the same time works. Look, like I'm in just the meeting, and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. So I joined, and then after that, like the opportunity comes around to have this amazing conversation and just plant this seed for many other conversations and educating thousands of people that they listen to us. And I'm like, this is just wild. Like 4 guys come up with this amazing idea, and just everything just aligns. And the most incredible thing is that most of you are not even in the same city. Like that's the most wildest thing. So how do you guys decided when, the NFT was going to be started, because I just want to like educate a little bit to the people here. Like NFT stands for like non-fungible token. It's like a unit of data stored in a like what I call digital ledger is the name, like blockchain. So that's where, everything happens. That's where proof of ownership, and you separate yourself from like the entire world. But it's just really wild that you guys from different parts of the world being able just to get together and create this NFT. Like, how do you guys decided who was going to do what and how was going to be put the word out there? Because you guys were really efficient, and I still think that there's more to be done, of course, a lot of work, but you guys were very efficient putting the word out when the project was launched.
So I'll jump back in here real quick. Luis, once I said we were going to do the project, I hit the ground running. I reached out to anyone and everyone I knew that was an influencer in the crypto industry. I DM'd like 200 people, something like that, in like 2 days. And Sam up here was one of the first people to reach back to me. He's like, dude, he's like, your art insane, your message insane. He's like, make me project manager and you won't regret it. So I was like, fuck it. And dude, this guy has showed up day in, day out and fucking crushed it. So we put together a sick team. Everyone that's on the team right now, everyone that's on the squad has their own role, So everyone is just, dude, we're grinding so hard. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. Sam, jump in here. Break it down for us, please.
So as Kel's kind of alluded to, that's how I got involved with the Chillin Chameleons community. And what really stuck out to me was how we actually are doing more than just being collectible on a blockchain. You see a lot of these NFT projects, they have great art, but that's all it really is. It just stops at that. Not only do we have great art, but we're also giving back to the environment. So with what Darren can also explain a little bit later too, with the pyrolysis plant, we're actually trying to fund it. And the success of that pyrolysis plant, which essentially takes trash and turns it into renewable energy, the success of that is going to raise the value of our chameleons. So we're essentially backed by tangible assets, which is something that's huge in the NFT space. It's never really been done before.
Wild. That is wild. That's the biggest missing link, I think, in the blockchain, obviously crypto, NFT community, assets. Like, that's one of the biggest questions since the beginning of like the creation of like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic, all these cryptos and every single coin, to understand what is behind it in regards of asset attachment or value behind, every single coin. Because like we know, there's been obviously a lot of skepticism. And I'm not saying from the NFT and not on the conversation now here, but in the world overall, the population is being like, oh, like we're skeptical to just buy, like a coin, because what kind of use is going to have if there's going to be any assets attached to it, because that's what happened to stocks. They're attached to like cash flow and assets and buildings and markets. And I think that this has just put you guys in a different level, because just having an NFT attached to assets, that is ridiculously like, I never have heard of it like before, ever. Like, that's the most wildest thing. That really motivates me, I think, and everyone, that they should be like the thousands that are listening, is just to look into this more, even deeper, because I think that really brings NFT game to a different level, overall.
No, definitely, Luis. And you kind of hit the mark on that. This is what's the beauty of blockchain in general, too, is that not only is it decentralized, but it can be backed by tangible assets that can help the environment, which is exactly what we're trying to prove here with the Chillin Chameleons. And of course, Nell put together great art. Darren put together great, connections within the nonprofit organizational space. And of course, Kel's, he's the Nick Fury of the group, as I think Nell alluded to earlier on. And, we've kind of just been working on this thing day by day. And we launched our Discord only, I think, a week ago, and we're already at 2,000 members, which is very, very fast, because getting members into Discord to actually be active is very difficult. And we've been able to get the 2,000 members with very high engagement and activity. And it's a great community too. And we're going to continue to grow day over day and help bring back sustainability to the environment.
And that's one of the beauties about the NFT project and Chillin Chameleons. Darren, when they decided to just back this amazing mission and amazing, work that you're doing in Maui, in Hawaii, where you reside, and just giving back, to the environment and just making God's work, like Kellen, explained it pretty well, and as well Sam, what it meant to you.
It meant so much to me. Me and Kellen have, been chatting about collabing and working together for years. And, Protect was something that I started a couple years ago when I moved back to Hawaii from, New Zealand and Australia. I came home after several years of leaving, and I got to really witness firsthand the death of a lot of the coral reefs and a lot of the ocean, and, just got to see a lot of destruction out there in the ocean firsthand in Hawaii. And that's when I wanted to start working on a way to, solve the ocean's problem, specifically here in the Pacific Ocean. It's a very large problem, which requires large scale solutions and advanced disruptive technologies. So that's kind of when we got into doing reef cleanups and beach cleanups and, collecting all this trash that, we now make it into art and resin art and other things, which I could show you. But, we want to be able to turn it into a biofuel, into something very sustainable for the long term. And, I've been watching the NFT space. Some of my friends have shark conservation nonprofit companies in Florida, and they actually had an NFT drop earlier this year where people would actually get real-time updates on the sharks that they're, funding the protection of. So, with that NFT sale, it's funding conservation and giving them exclusive insights to, where that shark travels, all the data with that specific creature. So that always gave me the idea for having an NFT collaborate with helping us fund our cleanups and our recycling efforts. And yeah, when Kellen brought to me the dream team, I was like, this is perfect. We could all stick to our strengths and work together for a unified cause that affects everyone on this planet and even people in the future who aren't here yet. And yeah, it's just been a beautiful thing of synchronicity.
No, definitely. And you talk about the the ocean and the reef dying, and me coming from an island like Puerto Rico and Hawaii have many similarities in regards of the ecosystem and the people and a lot of the climate specifically. And so I was raised on the beach and around an island, and I understand the value and how important it is just to have a coral reef and a good ecosystem in regards of like in the ocean, due to many things, not only from the aspect of like wildlife and the ecosystem and species, marine species that they live in the ecosystem, but the aspect too of like the temperature of water. That's really one of the things that really is killing the reef. It's just the increasing temperature of water. And you talk about New Zealand and Australia, been seeing a lot of documentaries and a lot of and just even just reading for the sake of just like educating myself and seeing how that reef have been turning white, but by miles. It's just fucking like, it's super sad. Like what we really have against, we're against the wall at this point. I don't know what we're going to do in the next 20 to 30. We have like Australia with wildfires and obviously like temperatures of like the sea levels increasing, obviously, but the temperatures itself is killing the reef. It's just wild, like all the shit that is going on. But just to understand like and see that the Chillin Chameleons, what you guys are currently doing is just brings a lot of the attention to what more could be done like this to many other causes. I think that you guys are just creating something very special with Chillin Chameleons only for the fact that they're attached to assets. I think that will be a tremendous question that every other single person in the world should be asking themselves if they create an NFT, if there's going to be any assets attached, because I think that that's where maybe what you guys have created, you four, Nelson, you Darren, Kellen, and you Sam, maybe you guys have something more special than an NFT for the community. Maybe you guys are changing technically how maybe NFTs they're going to work in the future. And maybe you guys are starting that trend. Do you guys have thought about that for a moment, about the impact that you guys maybe are creating in the NFT, community and the NFT like market, the NFT, out there, or the projects that are being put out there? You guys have thought about the impact that you guys are having by just attaching the NFT to an asset?
Yeah, I think we think about that a lot too, because that's something that we're trying to do. And not only are we kind of attached to an asset, but we're also attaching that asset to helping the environment. You kind of mentioned it too with the rising sea levels. What's the number one cause of all of that is the massive amount of plastic pollution in the water. When there's plastic in water, the sunlight rays that get absorbed by that plastic actually is what causes the water temperature to rise. So plastic pollution actually makes the water temperature rise by I think 50 to 60%, which is huge. So just being able to create a pyrolysis plant that can take ghost nets, take plastic pollution, or take plastic waste and turn it into biodegradable fuel, that's something that us within Chillin Chameleons are trying to fund, and that's how we kind of get ourselves attached to an asset that helps better the environment. So we're trying to essentially prove that not only are NFTs cool to have and fun collectibles, but you can actually do good with it and help the environment and the world.
I agree. And not only that, but you mentioned like, the biofuels. I see biofuels more as the way to basically put plastic to work than just separating it, because you got a bunch of polymers. You got the TPE, the PVC, the TPO, all these polymers. And when you just formulate them into plastic, then what? Like, it's used for many things, but then after that, you don't have a program and there's no state programs or maybe, for recycling or reusing of this. So the biofuel option, I think that in my view is, I think one of the best ways to utilize, all that, plastic waste, unless obviously there's the secondary market or tertiary market on plastic that really is willing to step up and say, you know what, let's enter ourselves with partnerships, with these plastic molding companies or these disposable companies that basically are in charge of all the waste management of the world and all that stuff, and say, hey, we can do something with this second or tertiary like plastic and do something. But biofuels, I think, is the best way to attack this issue. And I really got to highlight that, Sam, because I have looked into it and I'm like, what is the other way to just handle so much waste, I think that's the only.
It's not even really the waste, but even the recycling issue, like Asia stopped buying all of the world's recycling, and we don't have the infrastructure because we've relied on outside sources to deal with all of our plastic recycling. So now, they're just sending plastic to random remote islands in the Pacific Ocean and just dumping them on different islands, because we're consuming so much single-use plastic, single-use masks. I mean, more than ever, if you look at it now, everything is wrapped in plastic and then wrapped in plastic again, for sanitary sake. So yeah, it's definitely an issue that we have to be drastic on. And it's important that, we can spread the message that, that's directly connected to all this crazy weather that we're seeing. Our ocean is our largest carbon sink. What really blew me away about the reefs is the coral reefs actually make up less than 1% of the entire ocean, yet there's 70% of the biodiversity in the sea lives on coral reefs. So something that is less than 1% of the entire size of the ocean is where most of the biodiversity lives. All of these creatures, the whales and the turtles and the sharks that we protect, them swimming around actually helps pull heat from the surface of the ocean to the bottom of the sea. So we need this biodiversity. We need wildlife, not only killing it with our waste, but also directly overfishing and commercial fishing, is another way that we're directly causing a lot of the climate change that's happening. So, we give away a PDF to help people be more ocean friendly. A lot of it is awareness, just people, doing whatever they can wherever they are. And, everyone being more aware is going to make a huge difference, in having a way to fund with our NFTs. It's crazy. I mean, people selling NFTs for $60 million, if a percentage of that donated towards, disruptive technology, he could have already created massive change in the world and improvement in our quality of life. So, we just want to be able to lead by example and show them how it should be done.
No, definitely. And that's one of the things that really brings this unique, amazing community to just become something that I was very interested in, And by the way, to everyone that are listening, go to discord.com/invite/chameleons. So in that way you can join the community. There are more than 2023 as of this recording members inside of like Chillin Chameleons. So join discord.com/invite/chameleons. It's going to be awesome for you to become part of this amazing community. When you guys got together and said, I think that we have something pretty cool here. Nelson, what do you got? And Nelson, basically as an artist, is one of those guys that the creativity is just flowing all the time and everything. But when you, Nelson, got, you got to have the chance. And when you had the chance and the group said, you will be the artist of this amazing initiative, what it came to you to mind 2 days before you were without a job, without maybe just trying to soul search yourself and find a purpose where you were going to go. And this just came up. And sometimes I think that things, they are meant to be, and there's a purpose and when things lined up in life. So when they tap you as an artist of the project, what you were looking to bring in the project, because I love it, man. Like the entire sketches, the entire art overall, it's really unique. That's why when I saw the project, I was like, what is this? I don't have seen something with this much, effect, or I should say that living kind of like character, like a chameleon, in a very long time. But how you came up with that exact art?
Well, to go back, when Kels first hit me about the project, I kind of had troubles with the job, discrepancies, and we just parted ways, and I'm always a firm believer of when one door closes, many will open, what I'm saying? So, and as an independent artist, a freelancer, I always knew that there's always something better. The universe is always going to open up, like better paths and more paths. So I just stuck to that. And then it was like literally 2 days later, Kels hit my phone and we spoke about, the NFT and I when NFTs first dropped, I didn't even know if people were yelling at me because I've been into digital art since like 2014. Been drawing my whole life though, what I'm saying? So they're yelling at me like, oh, NFTs. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is an NFT? I'm a painter, bro. Give me a spray can. Like, I'll paint you some shit, so I'm like, what the fuck is that? So they're all yelling at me. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then so when Kels hit me up, I already knew what an NFT was. It was just, I didn't know how to get into the NFT I was over here. I thought it was like 3D, like, you know, so I'm learning how to do 3D sculpting on the computer. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm up late.
You were in the same place as I was, Nelson. You were in the same place as I was when we started this conversation. And now I even feel more comfortable talking about it. But it's so cool because, and that really gives so much authenticity and so much like cool, like vibe and positivity to the project. Like, that's because you didn't knew what it was. It's like, I'm going to bring my best elements and I'm going to bring whatever I know how to do, and I will figure it out on the way. And I think that this just speaks so much good things about you guys, because it's just 4 people with a vision. And it's wild just to say it like this, but it's 4 people with a vision and everyone playing their role. And I think that just trusting Chillin in his area, you know, an example of business development and connecting dots and being just that business guy with Sam as well, looking at the other perspective in a different specific angle, and having Darren work on the ground and make sure basically that, you know, all the funding that is being done just to create this amazing art that is fucking amazing. Like, they show it in the, I hope that you can see it in the video, but we don't release the podcast in video, and but even so thousands of people have like write it to us, we might consider it. But for today's episode, it was gonna be wild because what, you know, Chillin just showed me this beautiful piece of art, man. It's just amazing, you know, and how beautiful it looks, you know, and it just says family, like the art that he's showing me, and that's what it is. That's the definition of the entire project. Chillin Chameleons is a family of people that they really have this mentality and this way just to impact the world, impact environment with NFTs, technology, and amazing art. And I gotta say that, you know, this speaks a lot from you guys, because you guys are being able to play the role, you know, in every single area and create this impactful, you know, working with impact or impactful projects. So that's one of the beauties of it. And Nelson, when you were doing the coloring, and this is obviously a question that I have because I'm like sometimes try to put myself in the artist, like, you know, chair, and I always technically fail on that because artists, they think very differently than myself. But when you were putting the color and putting that kind of like personality to the chameleons when you were launching, like, do you see yourself, or you saw the entire crew of you four, Darren, Kellen, Sam, and yourself, Nelson, as giving personality to the chameleons, you know, in an example, using all of you guys' characters or maybe personalities in every single art?
Oh yeah. That came about when we were making the bio for everybody, and they're like, "Oh, put some chameleons next to us." So I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, I gotta customize. So I started like coming up with traits as I'm going along. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to as I'm because I didn't really know these guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, we just came out of nowhere and just kind of met and just kind of clicked up, and like it was like the universe, bro, you know. So it's like I kind of is adapting to them and, you know, get to know what they like, and yeah, man, it's kind of just coming along really well, you know.
When you don't know them, but in the process you start to know them, and things start to get shape, and you start to meet every single one of them. Do you ask yourself, Nelson, sometimes, I'm like, I never thought in a million years that I was going to have this 2 days after I thought that my life, you know, was maybe going to take a break and maybe figure things out. But you never thought that life was going to throw these 3 brothers that life gave you, you know, to create this crazy cool project and now become maybe one of these pieces in your resume, or maybe pieces in your life, or a chapter in your life that now have a different meaning that maybe you were thinking before that you were going to have around this time, and life throw you this, and you're like, wow, like life have a different meaning now that with what I'm experiencing with this amazing 3 guys to put together Chillin Chameleons.
Oh, for sure, man. You know, just I mean, it's just great, and it's very humbling, and, you know, it's undescribable feeling, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just the way everything happened, you know. I'm still trying to soak it in, and it happened so fast, you know. They're like, "Oh, chameleons," and I'm like, I'm sketching. I'm like, I didn't even know what was gonna go behind it or what we had to do. Just like chameleon drive sketched like 4 different sketches. Kels picked one. He's like, "That's the one," and then we ran with it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I started talking to the developer. He's like, "Yeah, we got to make different traits for me." So I'm like, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. Like, I was legit sitting here till 5 a.m. going to sleep, waking up, getting on my phone. What do we need next? Like, here's the trace I got. Like, I was 5 days, 6 days, took a flight to Chicago, took my equipment with me. I was on vacay doing the work like nonstop, bro. And like, you know, I'm huge on communication. So like, once I seen these guys, we're all in the group chat, we're on Telegram, we're on Discord, like everybody's communicating. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are on. These guys are on something good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? These guys are on a good one. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good to be part of something bigger because, you know, I'm an artist. I'm a pop artist, you know, whatever you want to call me. But I mean, I do all types of stuff, but I didn't see myself doing art for a bigger cause like this. You know what I'm saying? I've been always a fan of animals. I love animals, bro. I'm all about, you know what I'm saying, helping out the animals, you know what I'm saying, and fixing the world up so we can live and for future animals and people, you know what I'm saying? So the wildlife and everything, bro. So, you know, just to be a part of something this big, man, it's just very, like I say, undescribable, bro. I can't even explain it sometimes, you know. It's like, and like I said, it happened so fast. It's the universe, bro. And I'm not tech savvy, bro. I never knew what Discord was, and I'm not Twitter savvy and none of that, bro. I'm just like, give me the iPad, give me the spray paint, I'll draw something, I'll make some story. But like, I'm starting to learn. I'm starting to see that I'm a part of something really great, man. And like I keep saying, it happens so fast because these guys are crushing it. I don't like, from Kels to Sam to the other homies, they're going crazy, and it's like, you know, it's crazy. It's insane. It's dope. It's very dope, man.
You're part of a very special project. You know, I can tell you because I've been studying the market for years, you know, in regards of like blockchain, crypto, and many things. But just to have, I think in my eyes, maybe the first NFT attached to an asset of this magnitude on this specific area and industry and market specifically of just, you know, impacting environment and doing, I think it's just pretty amazing, really, in many, many, many ways. You guys might not see it as how big I see it, but, and we may be, a lot of people, they don't know now, but maybe 20 years from now, they're still going to be talking about the Chillin Chameleons NFT for the fact that it was attached to an asset. And not only that, the impact in the environment that it will be doing. And we don't know how big this is going to be. This is just getting started. That's the beauty about it. So I really suggest all the thousands and thousands of people that they listen to us to go to discord.com/invite/chameleons. Again, discord.com/invite/chameleons. So you guys can join. And it's an awesome community. What message you guys would like to give to the audience of this amazing conversation that all of us have? And I'm gonna have you guys back in a few months because I would like to get an update and talk about some other amazing stuff that I would love to talk to you guys about. But what message do you would like to provide individually, every single one of you individually, to everyone that they're listening about the Chillin Chameleons and what it means to you?
All right, so check it out, man. I got my son. My son is gonna be here any day now. He was due yesterday, so he's one of the main motivators on to why we really put this thing together. It's because I want this generation and younger generations to come to live a little more selfless, and to, you know, do their part. Because if not, we're not gonna have a world. And I don't want my son to have some short-lived life because of people's laziness and people's selfishness of just like so focused on what they got going on right now and not the bigger picture of the world. Because if we don't come together now, we're going to be fucked, to say the least. That's just really what it is.
I agree completely. You, Sam?
Yeah, so I think for me, the Chillin Chameleon community is all about unity and making sure that every voice is heard in terms of making the environment a better place too. You know, not only do we have a great Discord, we also have a Twitter, Chillin Chameleon, and you can get the Discord link there. We also have an Instagram, Chillin Chameleon, right there. But what also makes us super unique, besides being an awesome collectible and having actual tangible assets and programs to us, but we also are going in our roadmap, 10 lucky chameleon holders will have a chance to go to Hawaii with us, where we're going to do a beach cleanup and many other things. So our roadmap also has real life events to our chameleon holders. So that's another thing. Hopefully your, you know, viewers right now are interested in doing something like that. We do giveaways all the time where we're giving away NFTs and other sorts of awesome prizes. And yeah, make sure to join our Discord so you can grow with us and make the environment a better place.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sam. And Darren?
Yeah. So, my message is, first off, thank you everyone supporting and listening. In the times that we live in the world, it's, a little more difficult to make a connection nowadays. And I think it's so powerful that we can connect with other like-minded individuals for a, unified cause, and even work together towards that cause and see progress. It's just such a powerful time for us to be able to do this. And I'm just super excited. One thing that I would love to spread as a message that my mentor taught me, who worked for NASA, and this really put me on the path of doing philanthropy and doing what I'm doing now, starting my own nonprofit years ago at 27 years old, is he taught me, basically how to allow abundance in the universe to flow. So many people hoard and, will stop when they have success. They only care about materialism in themselves. But when you tithe, not only your treasure, but also your time and your talents, it opens up the doors, the infinity sign of the universe, to be able to ebb and flow abundance back into your life, guys. And I can't even stress the amount of abundance that I've seen when I committed my time, talent, and treasure towards donating, towards saving the ocean. I even have it tattooed on my wrist in Hawaiian that if you protect the ocean will protect you. And, it's something that we're excited to spread as a community, to have, everyone help us with whatever talents, whatever locations, whatever areas. I mean, we've had so many amazing contributions from our community. It's completely blown me away. And I'm more excited to, see where it takes them as well, because they're tapping on some real abundance.
That's really awesome, Darren. And by the last in the list, the amazing Nelson Ortiz, what will be the message to all the people that are listening? Nelson, you, the artist of the project, and being such an important part, like the other members of Chillin Chameleons, what will be the message and what it means to you?
Thank you, sir. Basically, I'm going to just put it simple. I just want to make saving the earth cool. That's it, man. Like, it's like, I'm young, I'm younger still, I'm from the era, I still got the sauce, but I'm sure we also got it. But it's like, we make everything else so cool. The Jordans, the Louis Vuitton. It's like, why can't we make saving the planet cool? Like, we can make that cool. Like, that's a thing that's cool. Like, that's the new cool. Save the planet, man. Chillin Chameleons.
That's really awesome. Nelson, Darren, Kellen, Sam, man, it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you guys about the Chillin Chameleons project, but it will not be the last. I'm going to have you guys again pretty soon, and we got to schedule all of us at the same time again. But it's been such a pleasure, honor, man. My respects. I commend you guys for what you guys are doing. This is your house anytime, guys, for any single thing happening to Chillin Chameleons community, or anyone involved, or any single cool things happening in the project, and you as well, Nelson, you an artist, this is your house, and we love to see you guys grow. We love to see the community grow. You guys have a big ally here, and all the support, man, to keep good things coming, to Maui, to the ocean, to the world, and to make sure that all of us, we do our part. I think that everyone, if we do a small part of it and we get ourselves invested, I think that we can make a change in many things, personal life, environment, the world. I think having dialogues like this and having true conversations in any single thing, could be politics, could be environment, could be sports, could be anything, but specifically having conversations about this and how NFTs can impact the environment and create such change, and not only that, but impact our generation, I think is something that it really needs to be said. And it's awesome to have the amazing Sam Elfara, Keelan Ness, Darren Fryer, and the amazing Nelson Ortiz from the Chillin Chameleons in this episode. And again, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Oh, thank
Thanks
you
for having us again, Louis.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
That means the world to us. Thank you so much.
No, thank you to you guys. And again, this is your house. Just follow Chillin Chameleons in all social media, Twitter, discord.com/invite/chameleons. Twitter, I mentioned Instagram, all social media. Follow Chillin Chameleons and follow as well Dialogo with Luis Otero. And we'll see you guys next time in Dialogo with Luis Otero.